You can now get a Kia EV9 that is made in America, and this is actually a big benefit, guys. It means the price is going to be a lot cheaper. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Kia's EV9 is one of the rare large electric SUVs you can buy, which is, in fact, it's probably the only one in the United States that's within the realms of affordability for most people. And in fact, if you have a look at the facts here, have a look at what Kia are actually charging for this electric car in America, and then factor in the new EV incentive of $7,500, which it will qualify for apparently, then that's going to make it really affordable. Now, if you're wondering what's going on here, Kia and local politicians in Georgia today announced that Kia's plant in West Point in Georgia is now making EV9s, and without the delays that have been problems for other EV factories. So kudos to Kia, they've done an amazing job. The milestone puts the electric SUV on track to qualify for the federal tax credit, $7,500, and also it adds the SUV to a small group of American-made 3-row electric SUVs. So what are those? There's only 3 models, and the other 2 are obviously much more expensive than the Kia EV9. Rivian R1S and the Tesla Model X. Now, if you're buying a Kia EV9 anywhere else in the world, they're manufactured at the Autoland car plant in South Korea. And Kia plan to manufacture around 50,000 first model year units at that plant. So not a whole lot, to be honest, 50,000 for an entire global market. But of course, with this new EV9 being made in America, they can apparently make 140 units daily at this production site. So about 900 vehicles a week, which would mean potentially they could make maybe around 40,000 a year. So that means nearly doubling EV9 production worldwide because of their American factory. Personally, I'm a big fan of the EV9. I think it's actually a pretty good car. It's available in the US in 5 different versions and 6 or 7 seat configurations. Customers can choose from 2 battery sizes. Personally, I don't recommend you get the smaller battery pack size. It's too small for a car this big. The range is very compromised. 76 kilowatt hour battery pack delivers 230 miles of range. That's the cheapest version of this model. I wouldn't even look at that personally. 230 miles, I don't think it's enough for a vehicle this size. Surely if you buy a vehicle this size, you're going to do a road trip at some point in time. However, the larger 99.8 kilowatt hour battery gives the vehicle 304 miles of range in its rear-wheel drive version. All-wheel drive version gets a bit less range than that, but 304 miles, I think that's pretty good. In Australia, that version gets around 530 kilometers of range. That's a WLTP cycle. The EV9 has gotten a fair bit of praise. It's won awards for being a pretty damn good vehicle for its segment. I mean, in most places worldwide, it's actually cheaper than a Toyota Land Cruiser. And to me, it's a no-brainer of which vehicle I would be choosing. I think the EV9's much better in terms of technology, in terms of the look, in terms of just being a modern vehicle. The Land Cruiser, in my opinion, it looks modern, but it's actually an ancient agricultural type product. But anyway, what do you guys think about that? Let me know. The EV9 the price starts at a very reasonable $54,900 for the base rear-wheel drive. It's $73,900 for the GT line all-wheel drive. But the long-range rear-wheel drive, which I think is the pick of the range, that model is around $60,000, qualifies for EV incentives. You're going to get one of those for around $53,000. Yeah, it's a no-brainer at that price if a 7-seat electric SUV is what you need. Now, I should point out it doesn't actually qualify. Unfortunately, I've just done a bit of research, guys. It doesn't actually qualify for the full $7,500 tax credit because the batteries, they don't qualify. So it only gets the $3,750 credit. It only gets. Apparently, the batteries will be made in America though in 2025, and so next year it will get the full EV incentive. Now, this new battery plant, this new EV factory from Kia, it's really a part of a huge, rapidly growing so-called battery belt in the South eastern United States, which is garnering the highest share of federal incentives from the Inflation Reduction Act for clean energy projects. Investments worth around $18 billion have been announced in Georgia, spreading across battery, EV, and solar projects. We're talking massive amounts of investment into Georgia. So this is really an amazing situation for people in Georgia in terms of, imagine the amount of jobs that are going to be created from all this. A lot of jobs are going to go from Michigan, from Detroit, down to Georgia. This will create apparently 11,000 clean energy jobs in the state. That's just direct jobs. Probably indirect jobs, an additional 20 to 30,000. Kia also manufactures the Telluride, the Sorento, and the Sportage SUVs at the $2.8 billion West Point plant. The facility also runs 24 hours a day with 3 shifts per day and has a capacity of 350,000 vehicles annually. It exports vehicles to Canada and Mexico, the Caribbean, the Middle East, and some Pacific nations. So if you buy the EV9 from any of those countries, you might actually be buying the US version very, very soon. Thanks for watching.